Hello and welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lou, and we're really glad that you're here with us today.
You can listen to Wild, Wise and Curious wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you'd like to watch the conversation too, you can find us as a video podcast over on YouTube.
Let's get into today's conversation. Okay, so welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious, Claire. It's really good to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Really excited to be chatting to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning, Claire. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, it feels like ages ago since we last chatted. So, yeah, it'd be really good to sort of catch up and find out all the things that have been going on. Okay, so we will start with, how did you come to realise you were in perimenopause?
Oh my gosh. So I was 45. I'm 49 now. I was 45. That was in around lockdown, I think. I'm pretty certain it was lockdown. And I went to the loo, sat on the toilet for a pee, and all of a sudden just went whoosh. I thought, my God, what the hell was that? And this extreme heat just literally rose. I thought, that's the most bizarre feeling ever. And that was it. I didn't have really another one. So I just sat and thought, what was that? And then it was around the time of Davina McCall's TV show.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'll just watch this. And she's, talking about perimenopause. And I thought, she actually mentioned she was 45 when she hit perimenopause. And I sort of, my ears opened and I thought, right, okay. And she said, I sat on the hairdresser's chair and turned around and said, is this a heated chair? And they went, no. That was her first hot flush. Yeah. So I then started to piece things together and I thought, right, okay, I'm just going to learn a little bit more about this. Started getting book after book, and any sort of information I could get, because I thought, well, maybe I'm getting other symptoms as well. So just read so much about it and discovered really myself that I was starting to go through perimenopause. And then got so into studying it and reading about it. I thought, there's so many women that are probably going through it that don't know, like I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've never been taught it, not by my mum, my grandma, whatever. It's never really been discussed. And I thought, I saw adverts, train with us to become, licensed menopause advocate or a champion. Yeah. And that's what I did. So that's my, sort of start of my journey.
Okay, so thank goodness for Davina, as usual.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's opening up that conversation so you can have that, that knowledge. And then that
aha moment where you go, oh my God, that sounds like me. I was 45 as well when mine came up. And again, in lockdown.
Yeah. And I think as well, we're of that generation that our parents didn't really talk about it, whereas we talk about everything, don't we? So it's just, I think I think that's part of why we're all talking about it now, just because our parents weren't doing it at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels almost like, I don't know, they were, like, say, a different generation where their parents, I know that, so my nan probably didn't really mention it at all to my mum, but she had a full-on hysterectomy when she was, like, in her 40s. My nan did. So it was very different to my mum's experience. And my mum is very relaxed and very chill, but on reflection now, although we didn't really talk about it, on reflection now, when I think about it, there were little things that I thought, obviously that was when she was going through. But at the same time as mum was going through that, I was having my children.
Yeah.
So I was kind of more, just kind of engaged. You go through that transition, which is like, holy cow, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
isn't it, of our lives?
They're really big chapters.
So you were so the hot flushes were what started with you, and lots of people don't get the hot flushes.
No, I didn't.
But I think it becomes so overwhelming that it is definitely a signal, isn't it, that something's changing.
I probably had a couple, and that was it. The other symptoms that were really quite bad was the anxiety, and the then to be panic attacks, which took me really by surprise, because I've been through a fair bit in my life, I suppose, and I feel that I've always coped with stresses, and in life in general I've coped quite well. So I've never thought of myself to have suffered from anxiety or worry, or obviously day-to-day worry, but panic attacks, I would hear somebody say about panic attack and I'd be like, that must be awful, and the thought of it. But it's not until you suddenly it happens to yourself, you think, Jesus, I thought I was invincible, and because I've never suffered from anxiety, I'll never have panic attacks because I can deal with things. But it is totally not that. It's not about how you deal with situations. It's about things that are causing these drop in moods and just general anxiety, and it is awful. It's so debilitating.
So what did you do to kind of help go through those moments then, Claire?
So the first step was, I knew I had to go to the doctors, and I went and I said, I was now then sort of a licensed advocate. So I knew what I was going into with the doctors, and I thought, I'm going to really explain because I know what I'm talking about. And the first thing I did, and it was my mistake, I went in and I said, look, I'm feeling really anxious and feeling my mood's dropped, and I just don't feel myself. And she said, okay. And there was a discussion of antidepressants.
Yes, yeah.
And then I went, it's not a depression like that. I said, I know it's a hormonal depression because I can be sat in the lounge. I could be quite happy environment. My other half sat there, we're watching something lovely on TV, and there's no stresses that I should be worrying about. And then all of a sudden my mood would just go like that, and I'd be thinking, oh, what's going to happen? Something's pending, something's
impending doom.
Pending.
It's awful.
And I just thought, no, this is definitely hormonal. So that was my first mistake, going to the doctors and going straight into that sentence of I'm feeling low, where I should have gone, I actually know I'm starting perimenopause.
Yeah.
If it had been another symptom, tummy pain or something like that, then I wouldn't have said, I know I'm in perimenopause, because I would say, look, maybe it could be something else other than perimenopause, because you do have to be really careful. There's some symptoms that can mimic perimenopause, and it could be something completely different. So I just said, look, I do not want antidepressants. I know it's hormonal. I want to try HRT. So they put me on the tablet form first. And I remember speaking to a friend in the village who's a nurse, and I said, oh, I know you're on HRT. I said, I've just been put on it on the tablet form. And she went, well, be careful with that, because there's a risk of, a higher risk of blood clots and stroke. I was like, oh, God. Right, okay. So that wasn't really explained to me. It just so happened that didn't work for me. Whether it was because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want to have a high risk of blood clot or stroke. So I went back to the doctors and said, look, this isn't really working for me. Can I try another regime? Because I knew I had options. And that's what lots of women don't realise, is that they can actually change the way they're taking HRT. Some women think the doctor's given me that's it. If it doesn't work, then, oh, God, what a shame.
Yes, and that's it. Yeah, there's no other option. Yeah, it's very true.
so is. And I say to a lot of women that I talk to, you must go back. If that's not working for you, ask for something else. So I then got put on the patches and I hated them. I was like, oh God, and you're wearing black clothes and you've got these black lines when you know, trying to rub it off your skin, and then going on holiday, going in the swimming pool, having to, you know, change it and waste another, you know, it was just for faff.
Yeah.
But I sort of stood by it and carried on, and then it just actually didn't work. So whether I wasn't absorbing it properly through the patch, I don't know. So I went back again, and I said, I'm still feeling, you know, a bit anxious, and I've had X amount of panic attacks, which I've never had before. She said, well, I don't really want to put you on antidepressants. I went, I don't want to be.
No,
I want to try a different regime.
I just want to try something different. I might be coming to the end of my choices, but you know, please. So I said, I want to try the gel. And eutrodrosterone at night time. And I did that, and I've never looked back.
Okay.
And now, you know, with mood, I have an occasional dip because of my cycle. But other than that, I feel really good. However, I haven't got rid of my health anxiety, which is hanging in there quite nicely. But and I think the health anxiety came from something else that I have fibroid. So that I think is brought on the health anxiety. But other than the standard mood dips and the pending doom and the panic attacks, it's fine. And I stop it now. I keep rubbing every day my gel on, and you know, it's for me it's really, really helped.
So Claire, you so it sounds like you did quite a lot of your own research in the very beginning, because it sounds like there was a period of time between you realised that you were going through this, then going on and doing your own research, then going on to be a menopause advocate. Is that
champion? Like whatever I think they class us as champions.
Champions, So that's like, I don't know how long that was over a period of months or whatever, but then it was once you'd got yourself quite clued up with everything that you then went to the GP and said, right, this is what's going on with me.
It's and I think with all the knowledge, it really helped me sort of work out what was going on with my body, but also how to approach the doctor. The first time, not so much, because I was, you know, a little bit more naive. But, you know, by the time I'd gone the third time saying, right, give me something else, I was, you know, a lot more clued up. And I think it's got to be the way forward for women, you know, now. And that's when I do my workshops, I always, if I'm doing a basic health and menopause, which goes from explaining what the word perimenopause and menopause is to, you know, symptoms, I always talk to the ladies and say, look, when you feel it's time to go to the GP, this is how you've got to be, because your GP could be really clued up and could have done, you know, the proper separate training, which most of them haven't. But, you know, or they might be, you know, completely, just get on with it, you know, like an old school doctor. And that there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's just sad that it's not been upgraded, you know, when it comes to their training. It's like going to a hairdresser, isn't it? And if they're just used to doing perms and nothing else or whatever, you know, you've got to keep up to date with trends and, you know, what have you. It's the same with medical science, I think. They really
need real consistency. You know, lots of people have lots of different experiences.
And it seems really tough to think of other women going through the things like, well, all of the symptoms without this sort of like knowledge, but particularly the mental health struggles that, you know, we can sort of like, that can come into our us.
Yeah, that we have to deal
that we
with.
can have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, to sort of like just think, okay, go ahead and get on with it. It's tricky.
Sure.
Or end up taking the antidepressants if it's hormone related.
Yeah, I know. Usually if that does happen, I mean, sometimes taking antidepressants alongside the HRT really works well, especially if that person has gone through clinical depression before hitting perimenopause. And they've needed those to, you know, sort of balance their chemicals, you know, within the brain. So sometimes, you know, they do work hand in hand and really well together. But for a woman that has never suffered from clinical depression and is all of a sudden given antidepressants, but it is hormonal, will take those and feel like the end of the world, because nothing, not even that is helping them.
Yes, yeah.
Because they shouldn't be on that. They should be on, you know, HRT. I mean, I'm no medical doctor or anything, but to me that is very clear that really, it just needs to be looked at.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. I mean, I went, I was suffering very much like you, really bad anxiety, panic attacks, those sorts of things, irrational thoughts and all of this crazy stuff, and not really experienced it before. And so I went on the estrogel and the utrogestin for the progesterone element. And I felt a little bit better after quite a long time. And then I added in testosterone, and that totally just brought me back to how, I felt so much better on that.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't ever go back to how we used to be, because we are at that different chapter.
Of course, yeah.
To feel more like your old self is
just feel human. Where you're happy to go outside outside the front door, and you're not panicking about things, and you're not worried about, oh, what's that ache, or what's that pain, or what, oh, my son's going here, or they're doing that, and oh my God, will they be okay? And that silly little voice in your head that never shuts off. It's really nice when that quietens down.
Totally. It's like putting a gag on it,
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
I think we really lose ourselves, and it's a horrible feeling, to suddenly go from 1 minute I'm this, bubbly, loving life, and then all of a sudden, just like that, you just into yourself. You're not interested in socializing. The thought of driving at night time is a bit stressful. There's just so many things that we took for granted, I think. But you talk about testosterone. Yeah. Well, I sort of said, I again went back to the doctor and I said, my sex drive isn't like it used to be. Yeah. And I said, can I have my testosterone checked, please? Because I understand that could possibly be something. It turns out that I've got quite a high level of testosterone. I was like, I go to bed now, I just want to sleep. Yeah. So it's kind of understanding that actually there's nothing wrong with our relationship and nothing wrong with my partner at all. It's just me, and that's how I'm feeling at this precise moment. And I think that was wow. I thought the doctor was going to say, oh yes, it's a little bit low, here's testosterone, because I thought that would help. But in my case, no, I've got slightly a slightly higher level of testosterone. Okay. So maybe that's where all the hairs are coming from.
I think we all just get those poking through.
Fun thing, for getting older, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember thinking when I started taking the testosterone, I was so desperate, and I had the testosterone, and it did kick in quite quickly for my mental health. And I remember the doctors were saying, you space it out where you put it. So maybe put it on the outside left thigh, then the outside right thigh, and then gave me some other places to put it. And of course, I just put it in the same place day after day after day after day. And I didn't really think anything of it. And then
so you're growing like armpit hair
out of my thigh. It was like one day I was in the shower, and it must have been a beautiful day because the sun was shining through the window. And as I like turned round, I was like, oh, that's what they meant. Wasn't quite like long armpit hair. There was just a little bit more. I've never, ever, ever had hairy thighs. I don't really have hairy legs.
No.
But now, unless I shimmy it around, actually I'm still crap, I have to say. It always goes on the same place.
Oh, I suppose you'll end up using every part, you know.
Of course. But yeah, I mean, it's just working out the tools, isn't it, that actually work for you with what you have going on. And like you say, we're never going to be the same. We're not the same after we've had a child. We're not the same after we have our first period. We're not the same
like from 5 years ago.
I was going to say, I'm not the same today as I was yesterday. We're constantly changing, aren't we? And I think now I kind of feel like I'm quite happy now where I am. Like you, I still have the dip days. Not had a period for months, and then on Monday, we were going out. We were going for a walk, and I just burst into tears at my husband, and I went, I just don't want to go. I just want to stay at home. I just feel like I really need to just chill out. And I was knackered. And then I was like, that's really weird. Why did I just burst into tears? I've not cried for ages. And then I came on my period, and I was like, oh, there we go. That makes sense. But yeah, you're kind of in a no man's land, aren't you? But I don't feel bad with it anymore. I'm embracing it now. And if I cry, I cry.
Yeah.
But I think you raised a really good point though, Claire, about the keep going back. If something's not working, keep going back. Because I know that when I was taking HRT and it just wasn't working for me, and there was a point at which I'd been back twice, and then the second time they said, oh, well, there's nothing else that you can have. So you either have to put up with it or nothing. And then I spoke to a clinician, a HRT expert, and she gave me a whole new regime of things. And it's just that keep going back, keep being your own advocate, keep saying, actually, no, this still isn't working. But also look at alternatives to support that, because sometimes HRT isn't the fix all, is it?
No. And you've got to do the research, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, what else you can be doing. And I guess working with your symptoms as well, isn't it, to see.
As it is, I'm not on HRT now, and I feel better for it. I do get the brain fog, but
didn't you get that anyway?
Yeah, I think I've always had that. I don't think I can put that down to perimenopause anymore.
I think you can.
But yeah, so I'm not on anything now, and actually I do feel better for it. But I'm doing lots of other things as well. But yeah, so I'm curious as to what you were doing before you went down the menopause journey. So it sounds like you have incorporated that into your work as well. So what were you doing work-wise before?
Work-wise, when it sort of started, I suppose I had my little interior shop. So doing interior styling. And I used to have a little shop which I opened 2 weeks before lockdown.
Oh gosh,
those 2 weeks were brilliant. It was really good, and I thought, yes, I've done the right thing, this is great. And then obviously lockdown hit, but I used to sell a furniture paint, because I used to restore and paint furniture. So I just took all the stock home and sold it online, and people used to come to the door and pick the paint up and go, God.
All the DIY projects in lockdown.
Yeah, literally. So I couldn't get enough of this paint. It was...
People probably loved the drive to you as well. Oh my God, I can get out. Yeah.
Feels like a lifetime away now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Such a bizarre thing. But yeah, that's what I did before. So I had a website, Atom Interior Styling, and I used to do decluttering and things like that. And then I thought, I'm really passionate about interiors. I love interiors and always will be. But this kind of well-being and the menopause overtook everything. And I just thought, I've never been so passionate about learning about my body, and what comes with it. Nutrition, I've moved into nutrition, and it's just gone from one. Yeah, it's just got a little bit bigger than I sort of originally thought. I've opened a CIC now with it.
Wow.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and I've got some funding from the National Lottery to go and talk to women and men actually about nutrition and how to not eat processed or ultra processed foods. So it all kind of combines into, menopause. And of course, I do my menopause workshops on lots of different subjects. The last one I did was bone health.
Okay.
So I had a guest speaker. She's a female women's health, I suppose, physiotherapist.
Okay.
And she deals with women that have had prolapses, C-sections. She's amazing. So she came along and had did a chat, and we just talked about general health in menopause and how we can protect our bones, going forward. So yeah,
it feels like it's all encompassing now. You were living it, and then you were learning about it, and now it's become your business as well.
Definitely. It's been a great journey, and I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it. And I love talking to other women that want to know more about it and need help. And the one-to-ones I love, because we sort of get together, we talk about what they're going through, what they can do, and then they'll come back and say, actually, I had one lady say, game changer. I've done exactly what we planned in our little talk, and she's so much better. So when you get feedback like that, it's like, this is why I'm doing it. It's worth it.
Definitely. I think it's also like just having someone listen to you, and like if someone listens to you properly and you can talk through what's going on for you, and they can kind of guide you a little bit, because I think we don't know anything. I mean, I don't know about you, Claire, but I didn't know the word perimenopause until I was in it. I'd never heard of it. Obviously heard of menopause. I'd heard of postmenopause, but I always assumed that menopause was all of it, until you realise that it's just that one day, 12 months after you've not had a period. So it doesn't really count for anything, right? Apart from you just not bleeding anymore. It's really the perimenopause, isn't it? Which is, the tricky bit that you navigate. Yeah, the upheaval. Yeah, the sort of like unbecoming and re-becoming, I suppose. The new person that you sort of like emerge as. So it's lovely to hear feedback like that, isn't it?
And also, we're all so unique as well. So what's going to work for one person isn't going to work for another, because we all bring something different to the party. We're all eating differently. We've all got different exercise regimes or amounts of movement. So to have some time and space with someone that can actually help pick all of that apart.
Absolutely.
Because I think as well, I think I said it earlier, the HRT isn't just a fix-all, and we will all metabolise it differently as well, depending on what level we're at, what our base level
absolutely
is at.
Right.
Yeah, so it's all those other things that you can be doing as well. So what kind of stuff do you also look at then, Claire, when you're talking to people?
So the main thing for me is to ask what they're eating, and if their diet is a lot of processed or ultra processed foods, then that can be a significant impact on the symptoms that they may be getting. So that's always my first, right? If maybe if that person doesn't want to take HRT or can't take HRT for any, you know, medical reasons, then that would be the first thing I would say. Right, take a look, get a journal, record everything you're eating, and let's look at how much fresh food you're eating versus the pre-packed food, you know. And I think for me, and not only just the symptoms, but we all gain weight in different areas through perimenopause, and it can be bloody stubborn.
Yes.
You know, you can't get rid of certain areas, and it can be so, you know, annoying when you're not used to feeling like that. And you know, that was, again, before I did my mindful nutrition course. I was feeling bloated. You know, I look at photographs now and think, crikey, there was a real significant difference. So I again did this mindful nutrition course, and something switched in my brain, and I literally changed my diet. I stopped eating bread, so I was eating ultra processed bread, which I thought at the time, Hovis seed sensation. I'm not eating white bread.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's got to be good for me. So of course, you get up in the morning, you have maybe a slice of toast for breakfast. You go to work, you maybe have a sandwich. So you're already, you know, hitting 3 or 4 slices of bread. And then maybe if you've got your period and it's nighttime, you fancy a cup of tea and a little sneaky slice of toast. That's another, you know. And I was actually thinking, God, I do eat a lot of bread. So I cut the bread out, and literally within, I would say, less than a month, my whole body changed.
Wow, okay.
To actually, oh my God, these jeans aren't feeling tight. And I thought, for me, the bread was the demon.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it's a hard one to lose though, bread. I mean, I try and make my own because I think that's going to be better than buying it from the supermarket. But still, I do love bread, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I do, and I still eat it, but I'm really mindful of the type that I'm eating. So I'll have sourdough.
Yeah, same. We love sourdough. You still doing your sourdough?
Yeah, I go through fits and starts. I've got a starter in the fridge, so I have to, because it takes so long. It like takes 3 days to make a sourdough loaf.
Yeah.
And then once you've made it, it feels like your baby. You don't want to eat it because it's so long.
Yeah, your craving to eat it's gone after 3 days.
Yeah, don't touch the bread.
Just look at it. But yeah, so I do make it periodically, but it takes so long from start to finish. But yeah, now my essays are done, I'll be able to spend
She can get back to it. I can make mine as well then. Bread delivery on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and some salad. Yeah, I've got some salad in the garden.
Yes, yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah, that looks like it could be my new business.
It could be, couldn't it? A salad sourdough on a Saturday morning. All the S's.
Anyway, we digress
again. But yeah, I mean, food is really important, isn't it? I try to cut out the processed stuff, but I'm finding it is hard, isn't it? Yeah. So I will sort of, if I want something sweet, I'll have those, you know, like the Deliciously Ella, is it cranberries, almonds, and they've got coconut sugar in instead. So I try and go for something like that if I want something. Yeah. But then this week, because I've had a period, one of the kids went and bought some, like, you know, the Cadbury's treat-sized somethings, Crunchy Rocks or Buttons or whatever. Yeah. And I think I found a bag in the cupboard and ate the lot, like, in about 10 seconds.
But that's life,
you know? Yeah, because, you know, you can, like, the weeks, like, where you're not at your period, you're not just about to come on that, like, I mean, I've got, like, 3 days where I'm really good. And I'm really well behaved, and I'm eating well, and all that kind of stuff. But then it all starts, depending on where I am on my cycle, it all starts to go to pot. Yeah, and it's really hard.
It is hard, isn't it? And I do try, and I think because nutrition in the morning, you know, I'll always have a really good sort of smoothie with like cacao powder and like nut butter and, or, you know, all those sorts of things. And I do it every morning, and I always feel great. But it's the afternoon sort of. Yeah. I always feel a bit like a slug.
The things that worked for us when we were younger don't work anymore, do they? You could just like eat a little bit less and
drop £10 in a week. I remember it, and
your body's so different. It's like getting to know it all over again, isn't it?
Yeah,
having to really get to know your body.
Yeah,
definitely. It's really, it's hard work, but you know, I also say to women, just don't, you know, if you have your days where you can't stop eating rubbish food, then so be it. You know, that's life. But if you can generally be mindful of what you're eating, I think you're on a, you know, a good journey. Along with that, and movement, you know, like you were saying, you know, fitness, strength training. There's so many fads that you see on Instagram, on social media, on the TV. Do this, do that, different HIIT exercises. You've got to do this really hard for however long. You know, that I think you've just got to do what you feel comfortable doing, as long as you're getting a good amount of, you know, exercise. Then don't be pushed into feeling that you should be buying this or you should be doing that, or, you know, sitting on the trend of everything that's going on, because it's just a nightmare sometimes, isn't it? Social media.
It's overwhelming, isn't it? Because the amount of information that's out there, you need to take this supplement, and then if your levels are not great at your base rate anyway, are those supplements going to work? And it's just it feels like it's a bit of a minefield.
It does, doesn't it? And if you don't have a clue about what's going on with your body, it's just so tricky. It's so tricky. So what would a good day look like then, Claire, for someone?
I think starting the day well by I think having a routine in the morning, your usual routine. I would say the number one thing for me every morning is got to be a cold shower.
Okay. How long for?
Couple of minutes.
Okay.
But ice cold. I do obviously have a warm shower to wash, and then the last couple of minutes it's ice cold. And that sets me up for the day. I really love it, and I think it's well, I know it's good for your body. And then a good breakfast, packing yourself, if you're off to work, packing yourself a good healthy lunch. I think with this all in mind, and you feel better in yourself, I think, if you know that you're doing good.
Yeah.
I know that I always feel better if I've had a good breakfast and I've done yoga in the morning. Then I feel like whatever happens for the rest of the day, at least I've done those things.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. Only not yoga. I do my breath work, but it's
So what do you do then, Claire? What's been the things that have kind of kept you on the steady? Straight and narrow, kept you on the straight and narrow since you've been like kind of on this journey.
I think it's having a routine. Because it's hard enough having to cope with the fact that you've got to rub gel on your inner thighs every single morning, and you've got to walk around like John Wayne until it dries. You know, or if you're doing it on your arms, you're like this. I think getting a routine, knowing that that's what you've got to do, because brain fog also allows you to forget to do things. So if I didn't have that routine in the morning of having the shower, the cold blast, doing whatever I do with my face creams and stuff, but getting everything out on the shelf. So that's what I know I need to do. So cream, estrogen gel, you know, we're ready to go for the day. And then that's what I rely on, is my routine, my lists. I write loads of lists. I have Google Calendar on my screen every day so that I can see.
Because I'm meant to be.
I'm exactly.
If I don't have probably about 3 calendars, I've got one on my fridge, one on the table, and one on my screen. Oh God.
Yeah, we feel you. We totally do. What would you have for breakfast? Oh, sorry, I feel you speaking there. What would be your go-to for breakfast?
So I'm quite, I have the same routine. I have fresh blueberries and fresh raspberries with a dollop of natural yogurt.
Yeah.
With live whatever it's got in it. Yeo Valley I have really yummy. And then I have I get a pot. I buy bags of sunflower seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, flax seeds. I put them all into a like a storage.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And then I just spoon it onto my food throughout the day. If I'm having a salad or obviously the breakfast, I sprinkle it all on. So I work hard with trying to look after my gut.
Yes.
Because the gut is really important, with your brain and what have you. So that's what I would have for breakfast.
Yeah. And what did you notice was the difference when you started doing the cold showers? Were you getting some? Because I've heard that that's really good for like clarity and giving it's really good circulation as well. But I was just wondering what you felt the benefits were.
I do it because I feel it probably makes me feel a bit clearer in the head. That's probably the main thing is the anxiety. And I know that can help with the anxiety. Yes, it can help with your blood, making your heart properly work. We and I always follow Wim Hof, and I remember him saying, we as Westerners get cold, we stick the heating on, we put these jumpers on, we're like that. We don't let our natural body allow the blood to pump properly through our veins and to our hearts. And that's always stuck in my mind. And my dad died at the age of 57 from a heart attack, out of the blue. So I'm very wary of looking after my heart health. So along with HRT, cold showers, there's things that you can be doing to help. So I think having the cold shower really helps mentally.
I did the cold plunges, they were good. I had one of those, the ice baths, that's it.
Yes, I've got one in the yard.
Yeah, and I mean, I did it for about 7 months. Every morning I'd get up and go. The first thing I would do would go down to the garden, get into the ice bath, and I started probably on like a minute, and by the end of it I was probably about 7 or 8 minutes, and it was just like, I almost felt like it made me feel like clarity. There was clarity I felt, and I also felt this kind of really nice. I'm really feeling like going and cleaning it out and getting it set up again now. But it just made me feel really calm. I felt really calm, and like the world felt a bit quieter after I'd been in. And it did. I remember, because I remember having a conversation with somebody at work, maybe about midday, and they were talking about something, and I mentioned the ice bath, and they says, "Oh, what's it like?" And I says, "Well, I still feel really peaceful." And do you know what? I'm going to get it out, give it a really good scrub. Yeah, give it a good scrub, because it's at the back of the cabin at the minute, probably with all the ants in the mud.
Mine's ready for. I didn't use it at all in the winter. But used it, consistently throughout the summer. And even when it's, if you are having hot flushes and it's a really hot day, there's nothing better than just going right in. It's
up to your neck.
And even when you get out, I said to my other half, I don't feel cold to touch. Your blood is warm, although you're in this. It's a bizarre feeling.
Oh, it is, yes, yeah.
I think, follow and following those people like Wim Hof they've got scientific evidence. I think it's really important to know exactly what you're doing. It's the same. I follow Tim Spector from the Zoe Nutrition, because I know everything they discuss is all backed by science. So that I'm not feeding the wrong information to people. I know that what I'm learning is truthful. Because there's so much different information.
There's so much noise out there, isn't there?
It is. It's really hard to pick apart, isn't it? It's really hard to get all the facts, because there's so much information out there. And I think there's lots of people out there now doing a lot of menopause work, and I think as wonderful it is as it is that everyone's having the conversation, it then becomes really quite hard to be able to determine what's right and what's wrong, and it's really hard then to kind of work out what the tools are for your own toolbox.
Yeah.
That's really important, isn't it? Trying the things that work for you, and if it doesn't work for you, that's fine.
Move on
Try
to the next
something
thing.
else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at my bookcase here, and I've got so many books on menopause and perimenopause. And because I've read such a vast amount of books, and then I've had the training, I know the books that I've actually been reading have, partnered up with what I've been taught. By becoming licensed. So that's when it's a good thing that, actually, they are talking right in that book, and then you can promote that person to someone else. So I think I think knowing who to get the information from right at the beginning is really important. And that's how I feel with women that come on to. I've got a little membership which is for the CIC, and we have a chat with the members every month, and they say what they're going through and what have you, and that's why I do it, so that I can give them all the right information all in one place, without them having to do what I did in lockdown and read dozens and dozens of books.
Work it all out yourself.
Yes.
When you're in that state of struggling with panic and anxiety and everything else, it's even more overwhelming to try and work everything out than it is. Yeah, you do, don't you? I mean, I remember I was so skinny. I lost so much weight because I was only eating because I knew I had to eat, just otherwise I wasn't going to get through it. I had to just keep eating and like having, and like I wasn't bothered about eating. And I know full well that at the time I didn't even know it was a hormonal thing. I didn't know what it was. Because I was 45 and not 51. But yeah, so when you're in that state, you're so vulnerable, aren't you? Because and I think I would have gone, oh my God, I'd try that. Oh my God, I'd try that. Because you've not got like the steadying, guiding hand of somebody who knows and can say, right, this is a trusted source. This is a trusted source, and this is a trusted source. Everything else is just noise for now. Until you've got your wits about you again, and you can do the digging.
I mean, every day is a school day, and I mean, I'm still learning loads of stuff as well. And I'm looking into, sort of, we have our little monthly talks, and we talk about supplements.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, okay, I don't really take. I take magnesium for my bones and for sleep. And other than I take an organic seaweed for my, it's natural iodine. So I feel maybe it doesn't help, but I have fibroids. So when I get a period, sometimes it's painful. And I feel that since I've been taking that, it's less painful. But it could be in your head, placebo, whatever.
Oh my God, I know. Just to make it even trickier.
So I'm very aware that the marketing of supplements is like unbelievable, and people are earning fortunes from supplements. Yet then that's when I go to my trusted source of information, which is Tim Spector, and read about supplements, and I'm like, actually, we can get it all from food. You don't necessarily need to get it out of a jar if you've got a good diet, but there are things obviously you might not be able to get if you're a vegetarian, or if you're a vegan. You do need to supplement things. So I think I'm always learning all the time to make sure that I'm not, we had a talk on collagen.
Okay.
And there's like, oh, maybe I should be taking collagen. So then I look into it all and read up all about it. And I had a company send me Ancient and Brave.
Yeah. I've had that as well. You have as well, haven't you?
Yeah. So I started taking it when they sent me some goodies. And my mum, who's 81, was also on it as well, and she was like, Claire, I don't feel any different. So then I looked into it, and actually, you know, these companies are selling them because it helps with your hair, skin, and nails. Or when you're taking it, it doesn't go straight to your hair, skin, and nails. It just goes within your body, and it will go to where you need the collagen. So again, it's the marketing that makes you sit back and think, oh my God, should I be taking it? And that's quite scary, really, because I think we can all end up spending fortune on you know, things that really aren't helping. It's a minefield.
Yeah, it is a minefield. There's so much out there, isn't there? And it's almost like exploded. It's great that we're all talking like you said, but it's kind of like made so many different, or like companies and people come out of the woodwork, and they're all everyone's talking about it. So you just want the guidance and the stories, everybody else's stories, because that helps you go, okay, oh, I struggled with that, and I tried that. I
mean, I think the collagen is probably a good thing, but don't take it if you think it's going to help your hair, skin, and nails, because I think after everything I've read with the science behind it, I think it probably can be good for, you know, maybe your joints. But I don't think it will change much on these things. And
No, it might for somebody. I
guess. I think my
depends,
sister used it, and she said she noticed a real difference with her face. She sort of like felt that her skin felt tighter and brighter, and she says she really notices the difference.
Like you said, we're all so different, aren't we? My sister she loves taking it because she feels the difference in her I can't remember whether it's her skin or whatever, but I don't.
And I think that's where the trickiness lies, isn't it? Because we're all
got to try it, and then work out if it doesn't work for
you. And you can't just try things for a month, can you? Because then you're like, it's only really just scratching the surface.
They say HRT takes 3 months to kick in. I feel it took longer for me.
It did me too.
I mean, some people it might work. Like you said, the testosterone was like
it's about 3 or 4 weeks. That was quite quick for me. But everything else just and it's because we're all so different. It is because we're all
so different. It sounds like you're in a good place now, Claire. It feels like you're in a...
Yes, I am. I just wish I could kick the health anxiety, and then I'd be absolutely fine. But
that's a strange one, the health anxiety, because I get that as well, and I think it doesn't help with getting heart palpitations and things like that, because you do automatically think that it's not hormonal, that it is something wrong. You know, like I had a coffee which was too late yesterday. I shouldn't have had one. It was at 2:00 in the afternoon. I woke up at 3:45 this morning, like in a hot sweat with heart palpitations, and I was like, oh, I don't feel very well, and then I couldn't get back to sleep. And
thinking like something's going to happen to me. It's a horrible feeling.
It is a horrible feeling, and so it's a funny one to try and navigate, really. I'd be interested in...
You said that about that the other week, didn't you? Go for a coffee and have one at 2:00, and didn't you have the same that night?
I did. I do. I know I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't have. I think I have to have a cut off now of a coffee at midday. I can't have a coffee after midday now because it affects me.
But it's interesting. It's interesting that you have had it again, and exactly the same things happen. So that's almost like your body saying, "Come on, Lou."
You don't have any caffeine. It's
12:00. You cut off.
I'll have like 3 cups of coffee in the morning. Keep me going for the rest of the day. But it's learning those things, isn't it? It's listening to your body and thinking, journaling. And really understanding what works for you. And like with your gut health, there's a lot of things that have changed for me that I can't get away with eating anymore because I just feel so rubbish with it. But if you're not paying attention to what's going on with your body, then you can miss the signals.
You definitely can. Yes, we've got so much to talk about and think about for our, you know, our well-being, it is overwhelming.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Our you know, mind, our body. Oh, it's just endless.
Like a full-time job, isn't it?
Using a routine really helps it.
Yeah.
Routine and journal, like you mentioned.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
seems like a really good place to stop there then.
Yeah, definitely.
Claire, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you ever so much.
It's been lovely talking to you.
It has, absolutely. Thank you ever so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at info@wildwiseandcurious.com or reach out on our socials at wild_wise_and_curious. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay curious and we'll see you next time.